Started. So tonight we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts when it comes to essential oils. And there are quite a few that you guys should know about. All right, so I think we're going to have 4 speakers tonight. And as Chris said, it might go a little fast, although I think my information is a little more slow. So, okay, hopefully you guys absorb the information. All right, the first big no-no, the first big don't of essential oils, you guys might already know this, is don't buy them from Amazon, don't get them from Target, and don't get them from Whole Foods. Because if you don't know the quality of the oil, it may not help you health-wise. If you don't know if they sprayed it with pesticides or fungicides or herbicides, you might have a little bottle of poison. Remember, essential oils are incredibly concentrated. That stuff survives the distillation process. So you could have a little thing there of poison in it. Oh, people are raising. You have a question, Chris, already?
I just want to add something while you're on that point. Sorry, but tonight on the news, they said that they've recalled a Better Homes and Gardens essential oil spray because it's killed a couple people.
Oh, so see, you want to know the company, do they grow it? Because also in distillation, if there's any plastic during distillation, the plastic will be in the essential oil. If there are heavy metals in the soil, that will be in the product as well. So there's so many things there's so many variables that you don't know. You want to go with a trusted company like Young Living. You can actually go and visit the farm. So that is the first no. Don't do that. Okay. So the second is, do not put essential oils in your eyes or your ears. Don't take an oil and just start dropping it. But you might say, what if I have a problem? What if I have a sty in my eye? What if my ears are blocked up? Can I still use oils to support my body? Absolutely. So what you want to do, if you have a sty, this is the ring. You want to stay right here. You could put oils in this area. This is like the ring right here. So if you have a sty, maybe doing like lavender, tea tree, always use some carrier oil and just kind of put it around the eye. Remember, never in the eye. Same thing for the ear. If you have like an earache, you can put essential oils like thieves on a cotton ball and put it in your ear. Or you can do like I've been doing today, is I take my thieves roller, it's already pre-diluted, and I roll it behind the ear. And that'll give that support back there. But remember, never put it inside. So now what happens if you do get an essential oil in your eye? Most of us think, oh, let me put water. And that's a huge no. Do not put water. Water and oils, they're not good friends. In fact, the water will push the oils further into your eye. What you're going to need to do is use a carrier oil, something like olive oil or coconut oil, something with fat, because the essential oils are attracted to fat. It actually will draw it out of your eye, pull it right out. Trust me, I've been using oils almost 4 years and I have gotten many in my eye, and that's what I do. And it works like a charm every single time, is to put a fatty carrier oil in my eye. All right. So is there ever a time you can use water with oils? Okay. So here's the thing you may not know. This is a cool fact. So when you have sore, achy muscles, there are 2 directions you can go in. Some people like to use warming oils. That's cinnamon or clove, ginger, cardamom. It's going to make it like a warm sensation. Or some people like to go in the cool direction. A cool oil is like wintergreen, peppermint, panaway, deep relief. So what you can do with water, so if you're using the warm oils on your sore muscles, you take a rag and you put it in warm water and you add it on. You do your oils, you do your carrier, and you add a warm compress. That's going to help to really amplify and make sure the oils get pushed into where they need to go. If you're doing the cool oils, you do a cold compress. So imagine how nice that feels. You have a headache maybe, you put like some peppermint on, you take a nice cool rag and put it to the back of your neck. It's going to intensify that sensation. So that's a do. Okay. The next is, do not mix your essential oils with a synthetic lotion. So maybe you're new to oils and you're like, I heard frankincense and lavender, it's so great for your skin. Let me add it to my Mary Kay and put it on my face. Big mistake. Remember, essential oils metabolize synthetics. So if there are synthetics in the product, guess what's going to happen? The oils are going to go to town and your skin is going to be caught in the crossfire. And I did this. Your face will be beet red. Horrible. So do not do that. All right. Oh boy, I should have took better notes. I thought I remember everything. Okay, next big question that we get is, can you be allergic to essential oils? This is kind of a tricky question. It's because the way that it's worded. Technically, it would be no, because your body forms an allergy to a protein, to a peptide, but essential oils don't have proteins in it. But here's the thing, they have something called haptens in them, and haptens can bind to proteins or bind to the cell, and you can get an allergic type reaction, okay? So it's not a true allergy, or your body has antibodies, and but you're still gonna have a bad reaction. So if you notice, if you diffuse cinnamon, you have a problem, then don't diffuse cinnamon. If you use an essential oil topically and you put carrier on and a lot of carrier and you're still getting a big rash, then don't do it. Maybe your body is reacting negatively. And that can happen, right? Our bodies can be kind of weird. People have allergies. I can't wear certain types of sweaters. I can't wear wool. I can't wear nickel earrings. So our bodies sometimes just do these weird things. It just happens. So just pay attention. And that's why we say go low and go slow when it comes to essential oils, meaning 1 drop and do a lot of carrier oil just to see how your body reacts. Always go with how you feel. Actually, I have some graphics again. Where are they? If I can see them, they're like this big. Oh, is that it? Let's see. Yeah, so if you want to take a screenshot of this is the information about the haptens. And a lot of people sometimes don't know about this. It's extremely rare. This is extreme. This is not like, this doesn't happen a lot. It's very rare, but see, it can happen. So remember, just pay attention. How do you feel? If someone's telling you they're having a problem, don't insist that you use more oils. No. Have them listen to their body, have them stop. So hopefully you guys take a screenshot of this. So you guys will have this. Next thing, it's really important to use, especially if you're new, but I always encourage carrier oils. A carrier oil is an oil that's fat. So olive oil, coconut oil, it's fatty. So there's a few reasons why you want to use a carrier oil. 1, essential oils are incredibly concentrated. You put them straight on your skin, you can get a really bad reaction on your skin because they're really strong, right? Secondly, essential oils are very volatile. What does that mean? It means they're unstable. So they evaporate or vaporize really quickly. And so what prevents that is adding a carrier. If you just put essential oils on your skin, guess what? The molecules start to drift off into outer space. So put a carrier on for that. I have a graphic for that, so you guys can take a screenshot of that. Is it this one? Let's see. Yes, why we dilute. There's a few more reasons why, but here's the information here. Take that screenshot of that so that you guys have that. So if someone says to you, hey, I put cinnamon on. No, don't do that. Always add a carrot, even something like gentle, like lavender, especially if you're new, you don't know how you're going to react. Do the carrier oil. Okay. All right. Let me also show you one more thing here. Then we're going to get to a big question that comes up quite a bit. Where are you? Okay. There's another thing. So this is how essential oils are hydrophobic, which means they are repelled by water, and how they love fat. And there are certain things that don't qualify as an emulsifier. And I see a lot of recipes like this that always kind of irk me when I see people, oh, witch hazel spray with water for a room spray. That's not really gonna mix the water and oils together. It's not gonna do it. So those would not be considered water, milk, vinegar. Those are not gonna allow the essential oils to mix properly in your water. You need something that's fatty or really high concentration of alcohol. That's why you always hear me talk about Everclear for perfumes or certain recipes that'll make it mix better. Last but not least, should you ingest essential oils? How many of us here have had a friend come to us and say, I heard you shouldn't, ingest essential oils. My friend said, or I read an article and they got hurt or someone died, or you're cruising the internet and you come across, essential oil killed somebody. Who's ever heard this, right? First thing you want to do is ask your friend. You want to ask them the dose. What was the dose? Or if you're reading that headline, don't just read the headline, read the article. What was the dose that caused the harm? Remember, it's the dose that makes the poison. That is with anything. We all take ibuprofen or aspirin, we think nothing of it, but you took the whole bottle, guess what? It's toxic, right? Anything is toxic at a certain level. Everything has a level where it's like, you can't take 10 of those, you can't take 20 of those, even vitamin C, even things that are natural and normal, even water. If you drink 2 gallons of water in 5 minutes, you would die. Your cells would burst open, but we drink water. So it's the dose. Remember that. What is the dose? And if you read the article, you're going to be shocked. It's 2, 3, 4 ounces that the person drank. So that we would never encourage anybody to consume that amount. We're talking about a drop or 2 or 3 or 4. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about sitting there drinking a whole bottle. That is never, like, ever do that. Here's something else to consider when you're thinking about, should I ingest them? What should I do? There are 3 different models with essential oils. That's why you hear different information from different companies. There is a German model that says you should only use them topically. There is an English model that says you should only breathe them in. And then there's the French model that says do all 3, aromatic, ingest them topically. And that's the model that Young Living goes by. So the French have been doing this since 1920s. They have information, they have books on it. And again, Young Living has a team of over 100 scientists, chemists that pay attention to all this, right? They pay attention to this. They know how their oils are going to interact. They have that experience and they can say, yep, and consume them. So that's another thing to think about. This is $1 billion company. If people were dropping dead or having major issues, that is huge liability that Young Living will be taking on. So the fact that Young Living says, yes, we have a whole line of oils that you can ingest, what does that tell you? This company would be broke if everyone was getting sick and dropping dead. I mean, come on, right? So think about that. A team of 100 scientists, $1 billion company says, yep, you can do it. Just don't drink the whole bottle. They don't endorse that. You'll see that there's instructions, 1 or 2 drops, that is a safer dose. 3, 4, that's a safer dose that you can do. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question. One last thing that we definitely encourage you guys to get, I love this, it's like our oil Bible. It's the Life Science Pocket Reference. This is my favorite. This company works with Young Living. So it has all of the Young Living, all their blends, everything you need to know. It's some really great information. Like what if you have this problem or that problem, what to do. The reason I love this book is because there's information in here like other cautions. I'm not going to get into all of them because there are cautions. What if I'm taking a certain medication? Should I take this oil? That's why you need this book. So I'll give you one. Rosemary. If you are taking an ACE inhibitor prescription drug, do not take rosemary. So there are some do's and don'ts when it comes to that. And that's why we definitely encourage education. So education, use your oils in a responsible way, because don't think of essential oils as a fragrance. Yes, they smell amazing, but they're more, think of them more of like a medicine. Think of them, have that type of respect for the oil that you're not going to drink a whole thing of it. That would be really bad. So, all right, I think I covered everything. Does anyone have any questions for me and the information that I shared before we move on? Anybody? Anybody? I can't see everybody. So if you can just shout it out, because I can't see everybody's hands, or sorry. Is Elaine trying to say something? Because if you are muted.
Erica, what's the name of that book that you just had up?
Okay, so this is the Essential Oils Pocket Reference. And we get it from Life. Yep, this is the Pocket Reference. Essential Oils Pocket Reference from Life Science.
Where do you get it?
Life Science.
Where do I get Life Science?
Online, Life Science
Online?
Publishing. Yep. You know what? I'm gonna put this all in the chat. That's so, yeah.
Because I like to have that book. I got
Yes,
the other one.
this is so helpful when you're starting, or even I've been doing it for years. This helps me all the time. I always recommend get this book. Any other questions?
I got mine off of eBay, just to say.
Okay. All right, eBay works too. You can find
Yep.
this on eBay, maybe a little discount.
I think I only paid like 25 bucks for it.
Oh, I think I paid less.
Oh,
Life
okay.
Science.
Well,
Oh, cute. All right, anyone else? If not, I'm going to turn it over to, who's going next? Who am I throwing the teaching to next?
Takoa.
Takoa. Let's go, Takoa.
Okay, so I don't have that much for you, but I do have I learned this pretty recently actually. So you're supposed to keep your oils on, pretty tight so they don't escape.
Keep it.
But you don't want to put it on too tightly, because I don't know if you can see that, but it started to separate itself from the top. And so then now it's escaping out of the top. So my tip is do not put them on too tight. Also, I think it was mentioned earlier with the diffuser, I don't know if you can really see this either, but you have your power button and the light button. Instead of clicking through all the colors, hold it down for 3 seconds and it turns off and it saves your poor fingers. And then also the oil. So the oil doesn't come out of that big hole in the middle, it comes out of a little hole on the side. So there's one, but if you have a thin oil, you want to have the hole up so that when you're pouring it out, it doesn't all come out and you get the amount that you're looking for. Or if you have a thick oil, you can put the hole down and it comes out a little bit easier. And that's really all I had for you. Oh, my mom's tip, actually. Her tip was that do not throw it out when you think there's nothing left in it. Make sure you take your cap and pop off the little plastic bit now that it's not coming out. And there's always a couple extra drops in there. So make sure you're getting everything that's in there. And that's all that I had. I don't know who it's going to next.
Rochelle.
Rochelle.
Hi. Okay, let's see. Hi, everybody. So I've got, I don't know, some of mine are do's and don'ts, but some are just like Young Living information. So let's start with the diffuser. So the diffuser, I don't know if you know, I'm terrible with this, but every time just before you use your diffuser, it really should be cleaned. And so the way you clean it, because I don't have the Mosaic one. Okay, let's do that. So you have your diffuser, right? And it has that little thing at the top and you can put your finger underneath it. All of that should be cleaned. On the inside, you dry it out, you take a Q-tip, you clean it out. I don't do it, but it preserves your diffuser, but it also helps not to blend the other oils. If you're looking for a certain aroma, and if you've had patchouli in one day and maybe the next day you want to do something floral, it's definitely going to change the aroma. So you're supposed to clean it out every day. So there's that. And don't overfill it. If you overfill it, it has water lines on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. And that's the max. I usually try to be very careful and put it underneath. I mean, because if you go to the line, you go above the line, it makes the motor work too hard and it'll burn it out faster. And we don't want that. Directions for the oils are on every single bottle. I have to use 2 pair of glasses to read them, but the directions are there. Customer service is extraordinary. I do want to say that if you ever have any issues. And it seems to have calmed down for probably a good month. They were running seriously slow, but all of that has calmed down. But if you're missing something, I've had a couple of times I had a toothpaste, one was broken and it was open. They sent me another one. It's like no questions asked. And, I even had an entire order missing with that included Ningxia. And I felt horrible, but I didn't get it. And they're like, okay, they helped me come up with a plan so it wouldn't happen again. So again, their customer service is extraordinary. You can definitely call them. They are not open on Sundays, just so you know. And they are Central Time. So you need to make sure that if you're going to call, Central Time is 2 hours ahead of California. And so if you're in Florida or if you're, then you need to make that adjustment as well. The fitment, which is what Tekoa was saying, the little plastic rim, you're not supposed to touch it. No fingers, and that makes sense. A lot of the essential oils, they're pure and they're there to assist us really in a medical sense in so many different ways. But your hands, if they're not clean, and most times they're not, because they will touch other things before they get there, then you contaminate the oil. So you're not supposed to touch the fitment. Dakoa talked about the diffuser, how that turns off. Essential oils, I think Erica talked about, they're not all the same. And what that means as well is, no, you can't even take them internally. The one thing that I learned and that I love about Young Living is that they own the land or there are tight restrictions on the land and everything that's being planted on it. So it has to be, oh my gosh, I always get this wrong, but it has to be pesticide free for at least 50 years before they'll even begin to plant on it. And so that guarantees a certain amount of health benefits, clearly. And so that's just a wonderful thing, because there's so many things, we've learned so many things in regards to how food gets contaminated. Well, if the seeds get planted in contaminated soil, whatever grows out of it is going to be exactly the same. So there's that. I don't know if anyone knows this, but I have to remind myself of this. You're not supposed to use oil, the essential oils, the Young Living essential oils, in plastic. In their purest form, they're going to eat that plastic off. I bought this cute summertime cup at the dollar store, and it was just cute, and I loved it. My mom got one too. Well, I added in essential oils, and then right away I said, oh no, but you could see it start to eat away at it. And so sometimes I know I've done this in the very beginning. I bought a diffuser and I wasn't thinking. And so all diffusers are not made the same. And so what happens is they're not going to run. But if you add Young Living essential oils, and I'm just going to make the blanket statement, and it's not a Young Living diffuser because I don't know about any other diffusers, right? It's going to eat off that plastic. And what happens is those toxins get released in the air, and then you breathe them in. So keep that in mind. The diffuser should be what's called medical grade. And I've actually kind of dug it up a little bit, like on Amazon. I typed in medical grade diffuser, but it won't give you 100% answer if it's indeed medical grade. So now, yeah, I don't do that. Someone gave me a diffuser and it was working and I didn't smell anything, but one of my roommates, she has a diffuser, and every time she uses it, it drives me crazy. It doesn't smell like the essential oils, and that's because it's a cheap diffuser. It stinks, and so there's that. And they're over there, so I'm gonna get in trouble. Let's see. Oh, storage. Last thing. Your bottles should be stored upright. They shouldn't be down on the side. They should be stored upright. And Dakoa, yeah, tight, but not, so tight you can't get them off. And you shouldn't leave them. I did this for a week or two, and let's hope, pray everything's fine, because it was during the heat wave. They're not supposed to be in extreme temperatures. So I left them in my car when we were really going through a heat wave. It shouldn't be that. So keep them on your person, like in your purse or in a cool place, but it shouldn't be extreme, too cold or too hot. So I think that's all I have. Oh, wait, lastly, but Chris, I'll need help with this. You're not supposed to shake the oils. This one, yes, because it's sleek. They give you directions to shake it. But for the most part, you're not supposed to shake them because it does something to the molecules. And I don't really have all the ins and outs of it. But even my mom, we had read that. There's so much information. I read it. I didn't tag it. But I read that you're not supposed to shake them. You can do something to this degree, right? And it'll blend. And but yes, exactly, Chris. And that's all I have.
Perfect. Any questions for Dakoa or Rochelle before we go on? Anybody want to ask anything? Okay, we got a applause there. All right, well, keep your questions if you have them, and I'll go ahead and continue. But you girls did great. Thank you very much. This is something basic, and this is something that makes me a little crazy because I see this with Young Living people all the time on social media. They go like this. We don't do that. Like Rochelle was saying, don't touch the top of the bottle. You want to drip it into your hand because, like Rochelle said, you want to make sure that it does not get contaminated. Something like this, like lemon oil, I put this in my water every day and there's 90 drops in here. So it's going to go pretty fast within a few months. But some of my other oils, I have had them the 4 years I've been in Young Living. So you don't want to contaminate the oil in any way. You want to keep it pure. So remember, when you're using your oils, don't touch the top. Let it drip into your hand if you're putting it on yourself. So that's number one on my list. Here's something you all might not know about. If you want a clean nail polish remover, someone told me about this the other day. I haven't actually tried it myself yet. Lemongrass is a nail polish remover without all those toxic chemicals. And I love my lemongrass on my dryer balls. Lemongrass is not a pricey oil, and it's a really good oil for some basic things. So do you all have these oils? Who's got grapefruit, jade lemon? This is a really nice one if you haven't tried it. Orange, tangerine, lemon, and or lime. If you all have these oils and they're opened, notice mine are opened, they should be in your refrigerator because citrus oils oxidize really fast and it just preserves them longer if you keep them in the refrigerator. You want to make sure, you know, the molecules are so small, like the girls were telling you. If you let them sit around with the caps off, they will evaporate. But you want to put the cap on and you want to make sure these are in your refrigerator, your citrus oils. Bergamot is another one. I don't use my bergamot very much. I use it for my blends. Some people use it in water for tea because it's the Earl Grey tea. But bergamot also is a citrus, so it should be in your refrigerator. How do you know if you're getting low on an oil? I don't know if you all can figure this out, but there's a little window on the side and you can see your oil sideways to see how much is in there, or even this way. Some of them are harder to see. And what you can do, for instance, this particular one is really hard to know how much is in here, but you can pull the label off a little bit and then you can look at it. Or if you shine a light to the bottom, you can see how much is in there. So you know when you're getting low on your oils. That's one thing that you can do. What do you do when your bottles go empty? Well, I'm going to give you some ideas in case you haven't come up with it. You don't want to ever throw one of your empty bottles out because these are so beautiful to reuse. You want to boil them, and as to the plastic tops, especially the orifice on the top, you don't want to boil it too long. But what I do is I'll boil the empty bottles and I'll just kind of dunk the plastic in there for a minute or two and pull it out. So once you have a nice clean bottle, you can reuse it. You can make a mask spray, you can make a perfume, you can make a linen spray, you can make a bathroom spray. These I got on Amazon, these little spray lids. And you want to market, this is another idea I have for you all, because I didn't do this to start with and I have no idea what's in some of my reused bottles. But you want to write on there what you've done. And if it's like a perfume spray you've made or a room spray with a couple different oils in it, you might want to write that down on the label that you tape onto the bottle, because I forget. I've made plant sprays to get rid of the bugs, and I don't know what I put in it. I got a recipe somewhere and made it. So now I write everything down. Either I have a note on my phone what it is, or on the bottle itself is even much better. You can get these dollar rollers from Young Living. They have 10 for $10, and you can put a roller top on one of your empty bottles. when you make a new roller blend. Say you want a calming blend, or you want a wake up blend, or a muscle blend, joint blend. Keep your empty bottles, make your blend in there, write on it what it is, and put a roller top on top. Okay, so what do you do to add to what Takoa said? This makes me crazy. This is an oil that I started Young Living with, Vetiver. Vetiver is a beautiful oil for calming. It's great for Javen and what he's got going on, but it does not come out of the bottle. It makes me nuts. So here's one thing that I've done. You can take the little bottles, and I took the label from my Vetiver bottle that Young Living sent, and then I have a dropper. So to get the oil out, it's now in dropper form because of this tiny little bottle. And I know what it is because I actually put most of the 5 ml bottle in this little thing. And another idea is on Amazon, you can get little droppers and put them on the lid. So these thick oils don't make you crazy. Myrrh's another one that's a super thick oil. So that's a way that you can handle it so you don't go nuts trying to use your thick oils. Here's something that I wanted to share with you. This is a little bit about the company itself. What if you're not a brand partner and you decide you want to make a little business out of Young Living? Now what you do is you buy a $30 package that Young Living has. It'll give you a 90-day planner, a booklet with a step-to-step guide, and that will make you a brand partner. So that's how it is now. Once you're a brand partner, how do you get your oils for the month for free? Say you want the $100 in oils. How can you get them for free like us? I mean, that's what we're all in it for. We want our things for free. So if you have friends that purchase $400 and they're on your team, you've introduced them to Young Living, they've used your number when they've opened an account on Young Living, and they together say, you know, they've bought, each of them, you have four friends who have each bought $100. You will get your $100 order for free. That's how Young Living works. For 3 months. If that happens for 3 months, and you know, it could be different friends coming on board, but if they're buying $400 for 3 months, the first 3 months they have accounts, you get your $100 for free. And after that, after the 3 months is over, to get your $100 for free, you'd have your friends buying about $1,200 a month. So it's like you're getting a big team by that point. But anyway, starting out, it's pretty easy to find some friends who want a few Young Living products. So here's something to know. When you get the Young Living blends, I don't think I have any blends. This is a roller blend. But with the blends, they have been tested, tried, put together in a way that's the best for your body. You can make the same blend. You can read on your bottles of blends what's in there, but we don't know how many drops of lavender, how many drops of cedarwood. So this is all a tried and tested thing that they've done with their blends. But you're welcome to try to make some of the blends yourself, but honestly, it's really cost efficient. If there's a blend you like, just to go ahead and get that blend. Here's another thing too, that the roller bottles and some of the others have carrier oils in them. If there's a carrier oil in it, it's not going to last till the new system. It's not going to last forever. But if there's not a carrier oil in the blends, they go on and on and on. More than 50 years, these oils are good. Just so you know that. Here's another tip that I'm surprised. This is a big thing. Maybe you all know this is why this one didn't come out. But we're asked this question all the time, especially when people are starting off with Young Living. What's the difference? Well, the difference is nothing. This is 5 ml. This is 15 ml. This is a vitality oil, so legally we can say this is an ingestible oil. When it doesn't have the white label, these are both lemon, but this is not a Vitality oil. So even though they fill these bottles up and then they start filling these from the same batch, we legally can say take this internally, this not, but it's exactly the same oil, just so you all know that. Here's another little tip. The 5 mil in general, you get, this is 15 mil, so you're getting triple the oil for double the price. So if it's an oil you're going to use, it's cost efficient to get the 15 mils of the Vitality oils, just so you guys know that. All right, some oils you might notice they only come in 5 mil. Sometimes that makes me a little crazy, because if it's an oil that I really like this is cinnamon bark, you can't get this in a 15 mil. You can get this in a bottle that does not say Vitality, which is the same exact oil, but it's still 5 mil. So there's certain oils that Young Living sells that you cannot get in the 15 mil size. That's another thing you might want to know. Here's another idea for you when you're filling up your diffusers. Have you ever noticed sometimes the scent in the air lasts longer? Well, here's a tip to get it to last longer. When you're filling it up, put your oils in, put your water in, and then start your diffusing. But if you put the oils in first, they're under the water, and the scent tends to last longer in the air. That's just a little tip I thought you guys might enjoy. Okay, Tekoa already told you about the little hole. The big hole you see in the middle, nothing's coming out of that. It's all on the side, just so you know that. What else did I want to tell you all? A lot of people ask if you can put different oils in the diffuser. Like, can you make your own blend in the diffuser? Of course you can. You can do that just fine. But if you're putting a blend in the diffuser, you might want to leave that blend like it is. I know Rochelle does blends and blends together, so she likes it. But a lot of times if they're already blended, you might want to just leave it alone. And another thing I wanted to tell you too, if you have an empty bottle, it's nice to put your diffuser blends you're going to use in here. You could fill it up. So like me, I like lavender and cedarwood at night to sleep in my diffuser. So I could put half lavender, half cedarwood, blend them, and then I don't have to every night open different bottles to put it in my diffuser. Okay, going back to the company, this is something I just learned. Okay, I probably should have learned this a while ago, but this is something I just learned. What I learned is if you want to skip a month on your monthly subscription, you used to have to call and tell them what you can do once a year, you're allowed to skip a month and to stay on the subscribe to save. But you had to call and let them know. Now things have changed. So if you decide you don't want anything this month, finances are bad, whatever reason, you don't want something, all you do is empty out your subscribe to save, your monthly order, but you have to make sure that you have something in the subscribe to save for the following month that's $50. So you can, I didn't even see this, but it'll say like October if you go to your monthly order, and then it says show all. Well, hit your show all and make sure there's $50 in there, that it's going to come November or December, because you have an option every month, every 2 months, every 3 months to get something. So in your show all, if things are coming in December that total $50, you can skip 1 month and keep your points. Like some of my friends have $100, $150, $200 in points. You want to keep those points. You want to use those points. If you have to cancel your monthly order, definitely use those points before you cancel, because the points will disappear and you'll lose your hundreds of dollars in free product. But that's just a little thing on your monthly order that you might want to know. All right, I think there was one more thing I wanted to share with you guys here. Let's see what that is. Yeah. Why would you want to be on the subscribe to save? Well, instead of ordering like 100 or 200, well, 100 gets you free shipping. That's a really good thing to do. But if you want to get free points and your budget is limited, you can do $50 a month. So for the first 3 months, you get 10% in free product. On the fourth month, this is consecutive months, and you're allowed to skip that 1 month. On your fourth month, you'll get 20%. So if you buy $100, Young Living's giving you $20 in free product. And then eventually, if you keep going for 2 years, you're going to get 25% of everything you purchase. If you purchase $100, you get $25 in free product to use at your convenience when you want to. So I always tell everyone, wait till you get a big bunch of it, and then you can just have a big shopping spree and have some fun. So that's the information I wanted to share with you all. Anybody have any questions for any of us? Feel free to ask. Go ahead, Tekoa.
I actually had, you reminded me of something with blending things in your diffuser. So if you, I'm just going to pull these two. If you want to diffuse these two and you're not sure if you like the smell of it, you can start off low and see if you like that smell, and you can put one above the other and see if you like more of this and less of this, or do both and see if you want equal parts. That way you don't waste the oils. And you're like, oh, that was a bad blend, not do that again.
Good idea.
Yeah. And then the other thing was, I have to turn my diffuser off real quick, if it will. There we go. So if you, that's just gonna pour water out on me. If you don't have like a glass, or you don't want to go get a glass or whatever it may be, you can fill this up with water up to that little line right here. Oh, water just dripped all over me. And that's the perfect amount to put into your diffuser. And then you can just let go and it'll come out the bottom. Well, that's a fun little tip that I think I saw today too. So anyway, that's all that I had.
Thanks, Joanna.
Yeah, I got Lisa here. She was asking about skin cancer. Yeah, you have anything that is good for that?